Hello, I'm Ashley Applegate with Kentucky Welding Institute. Welcome to our series on FCAW, flux cored arc welding, sometimes in the industry just called flux core. We're going to talk about how to set up your machine. We're going to talk about the different wire, the different problems that may go wrong. We're going to weld a little bit, and hopefully when you finish watching this series, your welding techniques will improve. So we've got our machine rolled in, and we're going to talk about the gas and the wire selection for the GMAW or the FCAW processes, commonly called MIG welding or flux core welding. The two processes are very similar, just your gas and wire selection is going to change. The tank that we have installed on is a mixture of carbon dioxide and argon. It's 75% argon, 25% carbon dioxide. You can change your gas according to your procedure. You may want to use a 90-10, which is 90% argon, or some other variation depending on what you're welding. The wire that we're going to be running for today's tutorials is going to be using the 75-25 gas. Notice that we have the cap on for transport, and when we get ready to hook this up, we're going to hook the flow meter onto our tank, and we'll talk about how the flow meter sets up. When we're looking at the wire selection for the two different processes, the GMAW is going to use a solid wire. We're going to be running a Lincoln ER70S-6 solid wire in an 035 size. These wires come in various different sizes from as small as 023 up to your larger diameter wire sizes as well. In the flux core process, we're going to be using a Lincoln wire, which is an E71T. This T stands for tubular. So the FCAW or flux core wire is a hollow wire versus the GMAW wire is a solid wire. So these two wires will weld different, which determines the process. Are we welding with the MIG or are we welding with the flux core? Next, we do have a Miller power source that we're going to be using for today's tutorials. And coming out of the power source, we will have a ground cable that will hook to our welding workpiece, and we're also going to have a gun configuration that we will use. The way the process works, when we pull the trigger, the gas comes out, the wire comes out and creates an arc. So now we've talked about your gas and your wire selection. Again, this can vary greatly depending on the process you're using and the procedure you're welding. But it's a similar selection between GMAW and FCAW. Now we're going to set the machine up and we're going to get ready to weld.